Hello, Dental A Team listeners. This is your host, Kiera Dent. And as always, I wanted to just send out a thank you to all of you who have made the Dental A Team podcast a success. You are the ones who listen, who download, who subscribe, who leave us reviews, who leave us those 5 stars that really help us get noticed within the dental world. We decided that at the Dental A Team, we wanted to create a space to level up, to take people from where they are and make them part of the A Team. So we deliver content to all team members of every single position to help you become a better version of yourself. So at this time, we are new. We're growing. And just like all of you in your dental offices, you're trying to grow your practices as well. So if the Dental A Team has been your favorite podcast, you've gained something from it, you love it, you share it with your friends, you share it with your colleagues, please do us a huge favor and help us become part of the movement to make the Dental A Team the top team training podcast out there. So share it with your friends. Ask your friends to subscribe. If you love it, share it. I firmly believe that the best way that we can level up and positively impact the world of dental is by sharing the best of the best practices. And hopefully we're doing that on the Dental A Team podcast for you. So please help and join me. Let's make a movement. Let's make a change. And let's help team members become the better version of themselves by sharing and having others subscribe to our Dental A Team podcast. Thank you all so much for joining me on this journey of the Dental A Team podcast. I hope you continue to enjoy the content that we produce. And as always, please give us your feedback. Thank you so much for being a part of my Dental A Team family. Hey everyone, welcome to the Dental A Team podcast. We're your hosts, Kiera Dent
and Dr. Mark Costas.
Mark and I had this crazy idea that maybe we could combine a dentist and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. And Dental A Team podcast was created.
I'm a practicing dentist, a multiple practice owner, a dental performance coach, and the founder of the Dental Success Institute.
I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, current practice owner, and international dental consultant. Mark and I don't just understand you, we are you.
Our goal is to positively impact the world of dentistry by sharing our lessons learned from the road in hundreds of dental offices.
2 perspectives, 1 mission, to help dental professionals reach their full potential. Welcome to the Dental A Team podcast. Hello, Dental A Team listeners. This is Kiera Dent, and I am beyond excited. I know I say this a lot, but this is one of my favorite people. Her and I have been friends for the past, year and a half. I've been to her office quite a few times, and her and I have coached. So she'll be able to give you guys a behind the scenes peek at what it's like to consult with me. But also, she is one of my favorite office managers. She runs a practice in Texas, and she is kind of unique in the fact that her dad is one of the owners. Her sister is one of the dentists, and there's this whole family added piece that she has to deal with, but this woman is brilliant. So I am excited to welcome Jackie Martinez onto the Dental A Team podcast. Jackie, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So you're in Texas today, and weather's probably good over there for you.
Oh, it's hot and humid, but that's Texas. So.
That is Texas. And you guys just love your hot, humid, and good barbecue. So,
Exactly.
So, Jackie, thank you for joining me today. And as always on the Dental A Team, our goal is to provide, I feel like my goal on the Dental A Team is to provide nuggets for team members that you actually want to pass on to other people. And I know you are a wealth of knowledge because I've learned from you just was working with you of things that I wanted to pass on. So I'm excited. We're going to just dive right into this. But before we start, I feel people should get to know you a little bit. So kind of give us your background, your history on how you even got to be where you are today.
Sure. So like you said, I have a lot of family in dentistry. So I have grown up in this world, probably worked in the dental practice starting at 14 years old, but both of my parents are dentists. My dad has owned his practice straight out of dental school, so a little over 30 years now. And of course, my first teenage job was working, probably sterilizing instruments in the back. But I have 3 siblings that are also dentists. So both my parents are dentists. My 2 sisters are dentists. And one of my sisters is also married to a dentist. So 5 dentists in the family. I'm, I guess, what you might want to call the black sheep, but I keep it all together. The only one that didn't go to dental school. So I run the one in League City probably full time. I definitely keep my hands on the others and keep in just make sure everything is going well. I work with one of my sisters full time. I work with my father a couple days a week. And then my brother-in-law is now with me once a week. So it's definitely a lot of family, a lot of tight knit and emotional attachments to these people, as well as having to keep it professional in business is on the other hand. So
definitely. And you went to school for business, correct?
I actually went to school my mother wanted me to be a dentist so bad. So my degree is actually in biomedical science, and she wanted me to be a dentist. So I went all the way to applying to dental school, took the Kaplan. I was begging her and telling her I did not want to do this. So no, I did. I wish if I had it to do over again and knew what I wanted to do, I would have gotten a business degree, but I actually have a biomedical science degree.
Check you out. Your mom really did want you.
Oh, she wanted it so bad.
She wanted to have the whole Brady Bunch to be all dentists.
Yes.
It's okay. You took your own path and you do a fantastic job. I think I thought you had a business background because you are so savvy with business. You run all the numbers. You keep things clean. You are the guru when it comes to the software. And you also help run your dad's implant business in addition to the businesses, right? You guys have the training.
We have a dental implant training program. It's an AAID maxi course, and that one, yes, that is a second almost full-time job. It's starting to feel like.
Right. Tell our listeners, just in case their doctors are interested in implant courses, because I know you guys do a phenomenal job. So tell us a little bit about that, just for a quick.
There are about 14 AAID maxi courses in the U.S., I think 21 or 22 around the world. And we are the only one in Texas. It's a 300 CE hour continuum. It goes over the course of an entire year. We have speakers from all over the world that come in. We also have the one aspect of our course that holds us aside from some of the others, is the fact that we have 6 days of live surgery where our doctors bring in their patients and actually get to do the implant surgeries. And the surgeries are spread out over 6 months. So it's not all in one day. They get to learn, and then they get to grow, and they get to try more challenging surgeries that they might be wanting to do as they get better and better at what they're doing. And it's a wonderful program to help them get credentialed in implant dentistry, which is starting to become a recognized specialty. So right now in the state of Texas, if you have your diplomate with the ABOI, you can call yourself an implant specialist. And it's across numerous states right now. I can't name them all off the top of my head, but it is definitely an area that if you're doing implants, you want to look into at least getting credentialed. And it's the most comprehensive training program in the state of Texas right now.
I love that. And we'll be sure in the show notes to put in this information if you guys want to contact Jackie, because I actually went through the Maxi implant course in Vegas, was the one I attended for 9 months.
Oh, yeah.
And I will tell you, we did not do live surgeries. We did some on cadavers, which was great. But I watched doctors, and I watched some of my friends that have gone through it, and they're not as comprehensive. So the fact that you have those 6 surgeries on live patients is really, really, really awesome.
It is great.
And I also like that you spread it out, because I watch doctors learn and grow and evolve in their time placing implants. So to be able to place them, go practice at the office, come back, not to anyone who's listening who's not a dentist is like, what, they're practicing? Yes, that's real life, everybody. Okay. We all practice. Sorry.
That's right. That's right.
But the reality is that they can then spread that out and then have training and guidance throughout is really, really awesome, and a totally unique approach that I love that you do. So just a little her side thing. It's her full-time thing. So don't think it's just a side gig, but I want to just put that out there. So if any of you have doctors that are not into implants, I personally think implants can change a practice. Like you said, it's becoming the new standard for general dentists. So if your doctor's even interested, Jackie's a fantastic resource for that as well. So, but we'll dive into what I really want to talk about, because Jackie, we were talking before we got on this, and one of the main reasons I wanted you on the podcast is because when I've been in your practice, I personally think that you are one of the best leaders I've seen that hold your team accountable. And the reason I say that is because there are 2 practices, and I watched, because I did a case study with your offices. I secretly love this. You almost have like twins. It's twins. I get to go try something out, right? Is it nurture or nature? Like, what's going on out there? And I implemented 2 different, I implemented basically the exact same things in both practices. So that way we had consistent systems. And when I came back to check on them, your practice had implemented them so well and the other practice had struggled. Now, once again, is it nature, nurture? Is it demographics? Is it leaders? Is it whatever it is? And so we're not going to go into your practice versus the other practice because it is a family affair and I'm not doing that route. What I want to do is say, I saw massive progress with your team. Your team checked the boxes on every single thing. You held them accountable. So that's why I'm like, Jackie is just a rock star. You keep your team accountable and you empower them as a leader. So that was one of my main things that I wanted to go into. But tell me your view of this, because you totally brought up an awesome thing right before we started getting on the podcast.
That is funny. Yeah, I appreciate all that you're saying. And it is funny because I did mention to you that I feel like that's the part I struggle at the most, is because I get so wrapped up and busy in just keeping the office running and all the behind the scenes and paying the bills and accounting, and that I sometimes feel like I get tunnel vision and I'm not keeping track of what everybody else is really staying on top of. And until maybe I once see a problem. But I do know when you came and you helped us, you gave us so many great things to work on and to improve on. And it definitely has helped our practice grow. And just bringing those things up in the morning meeting and asking, is it getting done? And, or have they done it? And I will say, having a doctor that backs it as well definitely helped us. So like I said, I work with my sister daily, and she keeps a hold of, the accountability as well. And it has helped. And she just came back from maternity leave. She was gone for only 2 months, which is unbelievable to me, but she came back this week, and it's like, it was just such a refresher to me because I knew I was going to have some help on that aspect again.
Sure. But I also think it ties into the fact that you guys have some sweet systems, because this is how it should be, Jackie. And that's why I love you as a prime example. And what I wanted to talk about is, as office managers, as leads, as those wanting to become a lead, one of the most important things I think you should have is you should be able to have tunnel vision on the things that only you can do. Jackie, you're the only one who can run the business aspects of it. That's your job. But at the same time, you also need to hold people accountable. So what I think I noticed and picked up on is you have very strong systems in place that hold your team accountable so you can have tunnel vision and hit the growth that you have. But I also love that you tie into your sister. She is an amazing doctor. She's an amazing leader as well. So between the two of you, without even maybe realizing this, I saw that you guys had very strong systems in place that you don't allow people to hide within those systems. And so there's an accountability piece that then allows you to have tunnel vision on doing the things you need to do. Would you agree or disagree? Because I want to hear your side of that.
No, I do agree. I agree with you. And having some of those systems that we have had, maybe you don't even realize they're a system that you have in place. You've been doing it so long.
Right.
But it's correct. It definitely helps me to be able to get my job done. And before you came in, I know I just did so much. I had a hard time letting go.
that is true. We had a few chats.
And then you came in and you gave me like, okay, I want you to let go of this task and I want you to give it to somebody and then check up on them. And it has really opened up my time to be able to do some of my other jobs, maybe even better, because I'm not doing some of the things that I just felt like nobody else could do right. Or I was afraid to let go, so to say, on my own part. And you showed me how to, make a system to just be able to spot check here and there, and you'll find, and so it definitely has helped.
Awesome. Okay, so let's give some specifics, because this is true. And I actually forgot. I'm glad you brought that. This is funny. And you guys also get to hear, this is kind of a fun podcast because you get to hear one of my clients that I've coached that's also a friend. So Jackie, don't hold back. Let them know what it's really like to coach with me. I want you to share what it's really like, because I think
it's scary.
It's scary. Good. I should instill a little fear, but hopefully it's more love than fear. But like truly, we talked about this when I remember coming in, and I do remember seeing you just as this overwhelmed, frazzled office manager who's trying to keep every single duck in place. But yet you're also just one person. And so it was bottlenecking, and there were certain things that could be slipping. So let's talk about some of the specifics that you found that were the most effective, that you passed off your plate right away, and what system you had in place to make sure it didn't slip and fall off the bandwagon. What would be a few?
Sure. I would say the biggest one that I had the hardest time letting go of was posting the insurance payments.
Oh yeah. That was
payments that came in.
That's why it was scary.
Yeah, and making sure it was done right, and what the patient was going to be getting a bill for was done correctly, and the notes were right, so you could instantly answer the questions. That was the most time-consuming, tedious job sometimes. And like you said, it's like, okay, you got to let this one go. You got to let it go. So I trained one of my girls at the front and worked with her. And for the beginning, I probably went through all of her claims that she was doing and making sure. And then once the corrections were just getting less and less and less, like I think in the beginning, I might have had a whole folder, and then I'd have maybe 10 tags that I needed to go over. And now we're down to less than 5. And now we're down to maybe I find 1 or 2 every once in a while. I really am at the point where I truly just go through she gives them to me in a stack of what she's posted. And eventually I'll sit down, and it takes me maybe 5 minutes to just kind of glance, because I know what to look for and which ones might need to be checked on. But it really has been so nice to train somebody. And like you said, hold them accountable. I needed to point out the things that were done wrong. And that way she knew how to fix it.
And that was something you did, because I remember you were so nervous to let this go. And so we set up a plan. It was, okay, on this day, you're actually going to go in and show her exactly how you want it done. Because if you can show her how to do it, she's going to write down the steps. So we created a system. We actually went in, showed her exactly what to do, took screenshots, showed her your process, and then there was the follow-up piece. But we didn't wait months and months and months and months. You didn't have to create the whole process, because otherwise so many people get bogged down of, okay, I've got to write the steps down, then I can show them. No, let the person who's learning write the steps down to see if your recipe actually is delivering what you want. Otherwise, you're going to write the recipe, hopefully have everything, and you'll still be doing it all. So I loved that you did that, because you went in, you showed her how to do it, followed up, and now you just check in, spot check. And I know it was terrifying. I remember you telling me this was a bad idea. This is a really bad idea.
Yep.
But then I love that you empowered her. But I also love that you said you would show her what she was doing wrong. Because so often I think in leadership or in any position, even as a team member, we're afraid to talk to people about what they're doing, quote unquote, wrong. And I found one of my favorite quotes that I've just recently brought on heavily is from Tony Robbins. And he says, there are no failures, there are just results. And I love that, because it takes the emotion out of it. You're not wrong. You're not good or bad. They're just results. So are we getting the results of perfect posting or not? That's all it is. It's not a failure. It's just what are the results? And now look at your freedom, Jackie. How much time, just give us a quantitative estimate of how much time do you think you now have freed up in your day-to-day work life by not posting all those checks? I
would say a full day of work, 8 to 10 hours a week I'm saved.
That's a lot.
I will tell you, before you came, I was staying at work sometimes till 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night to catch up, to finish up. I'm leaving at 5. Of course, we have our days we stay till 5:30 or 6 just because it's a busy day. But I can walk away at 5 and go home to my family, which is what I needed. When you came in, I know how overwhelmed I was. We had 2 practices. I was keeping up with both offices, and it was too much, and especially taking on the implant training program. There was no way to keep that going. And I think about your bottleneck to my own life all the time. And it is nice to be able to take a vacation and not stress about what I'm coming back to.
Absolutely. And that's what I believe you should do in any position. So Jackie, what we did was, I think that this is how all of us should look. There's a podcast where we talk about firing yourself. So basically, how can you fire yourself from these tasks? So Jackie, how did you, so we knew insurance checks. How did you determine what tasks to give away right off the bat? How did you, starting this process, was it me helping you? So did you need a coach, or did you just automatically know that things that were time sucking for you? How did you figure out what things to pass off, and how do you continue to figure out what things to delegate out? What's kind of your system for that?
I would say in the beginning, you definitely helped point out. I think just sitting down and really talking about what's taking the most of your day. What are you spending the most time on? And is it a task that you could share with someone? Can you pass it off and help? And I am a control freak. So to really self-analyze quite a lot of that, and what can I give away, probably took numerous conversations in my own head. And I
do think when you were emotionally tied to it, it's very hard to see that you could give it away. I think possibly it did help, and every person's different, but I think for you, having that outside person come in and say, Jackie, this is something very easy to pass off. And even though for you, it felt like I was ripping off your arm, to have somebody tell you this is something you could pass off could possibly have opened up to realize, okay, I can do this, push you out of it. But if you're okay, yes. I did like how you said the things that are taking up the bulk of your time, that's probably the number one thing you should be able to delegate out, because odds are there's somebody else who can do it for you.
Exactly. And then it's just a matter of finding the person and making sure that you give them the tools they need to do it the way you need it done.
Awesome. I love that. I love that so much. So, okay, we gave some good nuggets on that of holding people. And the reality is you will see, I think this is I always like to do benchmarks. How do I know if I'm being a great office manager? How do I know if I'm being a good team lead? I say, if you can tunnel vision on the things that only you can do and your team will still grow, you know you have hit success. Because otherwise, if your office is not growing or you're constantly having to pick up the balls and the pieces for other people, that's where I feel like, okay, find that broken system, fix that, so that way you can tunnel vision, like you said, on the things that only you can do without your practice falling apart.
Exactly.
Okay, so I want to dive into, you guys have grown exponentially. You've grown a ton in just like the last year. So let's talk about how you've been able to grow your practice. What would be some things that you would share that have contributed to the growth of, and like you guys, we should talk about this. These people have crazy grown. Jackie, if you want to share numbers, I don't ever share your numbers. So if you want to share growth, I'd love it. If not, just know these people have gone insanity. Their new patient numbers like flock to their office like crazy.
It has been crazy. I'm trying to figure out where truly are we finding all these people, but I think a lot of it is word of mouth. That we are averaging, and it's been a consistent average of 80 new patients a month. Awesome. And we ask everybody how they heard about us. We definitely are tracking it. A lot of them are finding them by our reviews, which is another place that we've definitely been asking our team to request the reviews and get them to just write something about their experience. Our reviews are all 5-star and above, which is amazing. We get so busy with all the things that we're trying to talk about. So the reviews is definitely one that we consistently struggle, but if we can at least get a couple a day, it's great. Word of mouth is definitely taking place. This community is, my sister is growing a very different side of our dental practice, which is more of this biological holistic approach to some things. And that's definitely, people are finding us that way as well. Not all of our practices have the same demographics and what they're looking for, but we're getting a lot from that niche, but a lot of this is word of mouth and patients hearing from other. You'll see a Facebook post looking for a dentist, and new teeth is mentioned so many times in the thread. It blows me away, and it's just like, wow, thanks guys. Really, I love how many people are not afraid to say where they go.
Yes, and I love that, because what I think that says is you found your one thing, you found what your office does differently, and you guys do it differently. People rave about an experience. They rave about that dazzle. They don't just talk about mediocre. So what does your practice do? And you guys do, your sister, Callie, she is in there. She has so much passion and drive for what she does. She's very passionate about it. The team works well. There's a good vibe in the office. Jackie, you do a phenomenal job of making sure the check-in and check-out are spot on. You do not let those drop a beat. The way they answer the phone, the way they check out their patients. So it's a very consistent pattern every single time. And I found that people tend to come back and to want to be in places that they can count on that are consistent. That consistency piece, let alone dazzles and wows when every single time they come in, they know what it'll be like. But you guys just do so well. And I say offices are really thriving when the bulk of their new patients are coming from referrals, because you did something that they talked about. So I just told you, I think Callie's passion and the consistency piece, but is there anything else you think that you guys do differently that makes people want to talk about you to refer their friends?
I think the way that we treat our patients, from the first phone call to every single time they walk through the door or call in, helps stand us apart. I think our patient experience and the way we can make them feel, whether it's just at ease or like their family. The second they walk in the door, where you greet them by name, you already know they're coming. You might run into the grocery store and you're not going to like, oh my gosh, I know who that is. But you already know. It just comes to you. It's like, oh, hey, Greg, welcome in, or whoever, it's good to see you again. And just talking to them as if they're your friend or a family member, and they're just not some other person that walks through that door. I will go above and beyond for any single one of these patients to help them, if it's to figure out what their insurance is, to figure out what their benefits are going to be, to try to just make them feel at ease. Okay, you're nervous. Well, let's talk, let's get you through this. Here's our different ways that we can make you more comfortable. I want to see our patients come in and walk away going, I have never had a dental experience like that in my life. How many times do you have people come to you and tell, like, I hate the dentist. I hate the dentist. Nobody likes us.
Right, exactly.
But if they leave liking us, if they leave going, oh my gosh, I don't need sedation anymore. You guys are amazing. Like, I'm not nervous. I come here and I actually don't feel nervous. Those are big wins.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And also to be able to, I can stand behind every single one of my doctors and whatever they treatment plan. I trust what they diagnose. And it's almost like you want to like give free opinions to all these people that call you, because I feel like that is an area that makes dentistry so untrustable. Is not even a word, but they don't trust what they're being told because you see it all the time. Mm-hmm. And I can stand behind every single one of these doctors that I just truly believe what they diagnose only what's needed.
Yep.
And they definitely give you the options, but it's a good feeling to know that what they tell your patients is true.
So you just touched on quite a few different things on there and Jackie, I love that you said you go above and beyond for your patients. You guys, this is a busy practice. They produce out of control. You just heard 80 new patients a month on average. They're not a small practice. We're not talking, a couple patients here and there. They are busy. And Jackie, I've seen you do go above and beyond for every single patient. You want to make sure it's dialed in, but I also like the caveat that you leave at 5:00, because so many people do not believe that they can give this amazing experience, that they can help their patients so much and leave on time. They're like, no, it's just not possible. You just proved that you can do these things, give that amazing experience, and have the life balance that you're looking for. I believe if you have great systems in place, you have great people in place, and you really do love and care about your patients, it becomes so easy. I think we always think that the systems and the accountability and giving all the extra pieces for our patients takes so much time. But I also think you create your own reality. You have proven over and over and over again that you guys can give this dazzling experience and you can leave on time. But I do love that you were super vulnerable and shared that you had to give away a few things. You had to loosen up on a few things and recognize what you could delegate out by utilizing your whole team.
And let's not forget, I had to change dental software.
Oh yeah,
again.
that wasn't. And
if I can change dental software again and still leave at 5 and know that things are running well, then it can't be done.
I think that's why Jackie said coaching with me was scary. I definitely went in and told her she needed to also change her dental software. I'm pretty black and white when I walk into an office. I don't know people, and I was like, Jackie, this is going to change your life. And she gave me looks of, you don't even know. that just like, no, I'm not on board with you anymore, Kiera. Everything else up to this point, but you want me to switch softwares and look at you now. Here you go.
Yep.
You did it. You did it. Okay.
We did it. Yes.
Awesome, Miss Jackie. Well, I appreciate you so much. Is there any last words of wisdom or pieces of information that you feel have just really changed and inspired you that you would love to leave with our listeners?
Oh, well, like I said, you're your own bottleneck to your life. That is one I got from you that I definitely refer back to often. And what I cannot, if I want more freedom, I've got to let some of this stuff go and delegate. And it definitely has changed my life. The fact that I can leave at 5 and I've got 2 kids that I don't want to be here at work till 7:00 at night, feeling like I have to catch up. So there's my motivation. Yeah. And I, it can be done.
It can.
With the right, good team, and you stand behind your team and help them figure out how to make it all work.
I love it. I love it so much. So ladies and gentlemen, you are the bottleneck of your own life. We can thank Mark Costas for telling me that I was unable to coach Jackie on, because this is truly, and seeing you evolve, Jackie, has just been a really fun process for me to watch you and to hear you leave at 5 and to hear the less stress. And it hasn't been easy. Let's not think it's been rainbows and butterflies. I remember you sending me many messages of I can't hire anybody and it's stressful and I've got to switch to open dental. And And it's not always rainbows and butterflies. Like those things are hard. But at the end of it, you were able to delegate, you were able to train your team, and you now have this flourishing, growing practice that just keeps getting better and better and better. And I would venture to guess that it is easier now today than it was when I saw you a year and a half ago.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. So I really do appreciate all your help that you've held my hand through the beginning of this stuff.
And that wasn't even a plug for me, but I appreciate that so much. But I love that your life, you delegate it out, you have a more profitable, productive practice, and it's easier for you today than it was a year and a half ago, is just a huge testament to everybody listening that this is reality. So where do you start? You pick up the hardest things. You find the hardest things or the things that are taking the most amount of time, delegate those out, get a system in place, and watch to see I think it's almost an addiction. Like once I start delegating things out, I'm like, whoa, what else can I delegate out? Like get this off my plate. It's magical.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, you guys, Jackie will definitely be back on. If you guys want information on the implant stuff, be sure to check the show notes. And as always, if you find value in this podcast, the best thing you could ever do is to share this with your team members, with your friends, with anybody that you feel could value from this, because at the end of the day, we're all just here to make each other better and to level up to a better version of ourselves. So Jackie, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Kiera. I really appreciate being on your show. And like I said, I really appreciate, 1, your friendship, and 2, your support.
Likewise, you're just one of my favorites. So everyone on the Dental A team, this is Jackie, and we will catch you next time on the Dental A Team podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental A Team podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.